Let's go Falcons! The latest news has generated a lot of buzz, and I'm going to tell you all about it without further ado. Click the like button and come with me. What if I told you that the Falcons could be just one step away from transforming their offense into one of the most dangerous in the NFC? Just imagine Michael Penix Jr., the rookie quarterback with a cannon arm, lining up under center. The crowd holds its breath. He drops back, scans the field, and fires a perfect 40-yard pass to Gabe Davis. Yes, that Gabe Davis, the same one who torched the Chiefs with 3 touchdowns in that unforgettable playoff shootout with Josh Allen. Sound crazy? Maybe, but with recent events, it suddenly becomes a very real possibility. Gabe Davis has just been released by the Jacksonville Jaguars. After signing a solid $36 million contract with them last offseason, his time in Duval ended before it could really take off. A struggling 2024 campaign, just 239 yards and 2 touchdowns, abruptly cut short what was supposed to be a new chapter after 4 impactful years in Buffalo. But that's exactly what makes this situation so intriguing. Despite never surpassing the 50-catch mark in a single season, Davis has demonstrated a rare knack for making game-changing plays, racking up touchdowns in the red zone and squeezing defenses with his speed. For a team like Atlanta, with a new offensive identity being built around Penix, that's not a statistic to ignore, it's a hidden gem waiting to be exploited. Now, let's be real. The Falcons' top trio at wide receiver, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, and Ray McCloud, brings stability and some spark. London is the centerpiece, a physical target who's expected to thrive with better QB play. Mooney brings the quickness and McCloud gives you versatility. But what happens if just one of them goes down? What happens if you need a true deep threat to stretch the field and give Penix the vertical element he thrives on? That's where Gabe Davis becomes more than a luxury. He becomes an insurance policy with big play upside. And this is where things get even more fascinating. The Falcons front office, led by GM Terry Fontenot, has already shown they're willing to bet big on this year. They sacrificed future draft capital, including a first-rounder, to move up and get edge rusher James Pierce Jr. and safety Xavier Watts. That's not the kind of aggression you pair with a wait-and-see philosophy on offense. That's a signal. A signal that this team wants to win now, that they're building a complete roster around their new franchise quarterback, and that every piece matters. So the question becomes, is Davis affordable? On paper, his last contract averaged $12 million per year, but the market and his underwhelming season will likely force a reality check. A 1-year, for the $5 million prove-it deal could be in play. The challenge? Atlanta's effective cap space is around $4 million. That figure factors in the money reserved for the rookie class, including the 2 first-rounders, and leaves the Falcons just enough breathing room for a move like this, if they're willing to restructure a contract or make a tough cut somewhere else. This isn't about filling a hole. It's about elevating the ceiling. Michael Penix Jr. wasn't drafted 8th overall just to sit in a clean, predictable system. His gift is his deep ball, a gorgeous, arcing missile that splits coverage and punishes defenses. Giving him a weapon like Gabe Davis, a guy who's made a career out of catching those very balls, is the kind of chess move that wins playoff games in January. Meanwhile, the Falcons' defense is generating its own buzz with a 4th-round pick that's starting to look like a potential Week 1 starter. While all the hype naturally goes to James Pierce Jr., Jalen Walker, and Xavier Watts, it's Billy Bowman, the Oklahoma safety-turned-slot corner, who's quietly making noise. NFL.com's Chad Reuter called him a legitimate contender for the nickel spot, pointing to his quickness, physicality, and willingness to come downhill and run support. And it makes sense. Bowman logged over 150 snaps in the slot for the Sooners last season and has the kind of football IQ that coaches love. Raheem Morris and DC Jeff Ulbrich want nastiness at that spot, a Draymond Green-type pest who makes life miserable for opposing receivers. Bowman? He fits that mold. And here's the kicker, Bowman's main competition, Dalford and Clark Phillips, aren't exactly locked-in starters. Alford was re-signed after an unsatisfying showing last year. Phillips, entering year 3, has had moments but hasn't claimed the job decisively. There's a real path here for the rookie to win the spot outright in camp, especially in a defense looking to inject youth, speed, and intensity. Last year, rookies didn't get a ton of action in Raheem Morris's system. Penix had the most snaps among them, but he was a backup quarterback. The rest? Injury-plagued or buried on the depth chart. This year, the landscape is different. Expectations are higher. The urgency is real. And that puts guys like Billy Bowman in a prime position to step up early. So Falcons fans, what do you think? Should Atlanta roll the dice on Gabe Davis and give Michael Penix that dangerous deep threat he's missing? Is Billy Bowman the rookie surprise of 2025? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because here's the thing, this offseason isn't just about filling roster spots. It's about recalibrating what the Atlanta Falcons are supposed to be. For years, we've been caught in the middle, some flashes on offense, spurts of defensive dominance, but never that cohesive, threatening team that NFC rivals fear. Terry Fontenot's aggressive draft trades tell us he's tired of that narrative. Raheem Morris wasn't brought in to maintain the status quo. And Michael Penix Jr. wasn't picked 8th overall to sit behind a wall of maybes and what-ifs. The addition of Gabe Davis wouldn't just be about scheme, it'd be about identity. And that identity is taking shape across the board. On defense, you now have a mix of veterans like Grady Jarrett, explosive young talent in James Pierce Jr., and versatile rookies like Bowman and Xavier Watts. The latter, by the way, is being talked about by insiders not as a developmental piece, but a potential game-changer. He's a rangy, instinctual safety who could form a new-look secondary alongside Jesse Bates III, allowing Raheem to unleash more aggressive coverage schemes and blitz packages. But here's where everything comes together. The Gabe Davis discussion, the Bowman hype, even the speculation around offensive depth, all of it points to the same core question: are the Falcons ready to go all in this year? Because if they are, these aren't side conversations. They're central to how this team competes in a conference loaded with explosive passing attacks and dynamic defenses. And let's be honest, this isn't about building for 2026. You don't trade future picks and roll the dice on a strong-armed quarterback if your eyes are on 3 years down the line. You do it because you believe that the pieces, right now, are enough. Enough to make noise. Enough to win the division. Enough to host playoff games in January. So, I want to hear from you, Falcons fans. Would you take a chance and sign Gabe Davis on a team-friendly deal to expand the field for Penix? Do you think Billy Bowman could win that nickel position in Week 1 and bring some much-needed energy to the secondary? Let's talk about it in the comments. Your opinions shape the conversation around this team more than you might think. And if you've made it this far, do me a favor, like, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't miss any updates this offseason. We've got depth chart battles, roster moves, and more coming as we get ready for training camp. This is going to be a wild ride, and you won't want to miss a second of it. Go Falcons!